Bam! Let me get rid of this. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your man with the master plan, Mr. A. Walker. Yeah! Welcome. I appreciate you guys rocking with us. What up, Lisa? Good morning. Blessings to you as well. Thank you for rocking with us. Just another day. Just another day that the Lord has blessed us. All right, so I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being a part of the Brothers of Legacy. Again, I am Mr. A.D. Walker, the pusher, the grower, the motivator. And I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys being a part of all that we do. So this would be kind of like part 4 of the Changing the Mindset of Our Community series. And let's see, Spooky Spow, bang, bam, bam, bam. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. That's what I'm doing right now. Sharing is caring. Make sure you share to your people. Share the information. Share what's going on. Tag somebody. Put it in their inbox. Inbox everybody that you know. Make sure you've liked the Facebook page. You're following the YouTube page. And you're liking this video. So I appreciate you guys being here. We're gonna have a great conversation today. So it's gonna be good. Good morning. Who's that in the building? Great morning to you, Mama McCory. Thank you for rocking and hanging with us as always. And again, we're changing the mindsets of our community. Part 4. Part quattro. I had to think about the numbers. Part quattro. So I appreciate you guys being here, being a part, always coming in, always interacting, because that's what makes this broadcast so special to me. The interaction, not just me spouting out, me and whoever else is in the building, Pastor or Cole or my brother Ephraim, just spouting out stuff, but loving you guys in here, conversating, building our community one conversation at a time. So just definitely stay connected, because we have, like I said, we have some great things that we're going to bring into the real world, into communities shortly, soon, very soon. So make sure you join our text community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. So when we have our first real meetup, social distance, keeping it safe because COVID is still out there, we're definitely going to let you know so you can be a part and be in the know and be part of a live interactive conversation. And actually, we're going to discuss some of the initiatives that we're pushing forward and what we are doing in the community. Like I said, Brothers of Legacy is about brothers coming together to not stand out, but to stand up and to be more active in our community, to build something, building legacy. And legacy isn't just finance. Legacy is positioning, mindset, and growing taking what you know, putting it to the next generation so they can take it to the next level. The next level. All right, who's that? Good morning, Cheryl, sports car lady in the building. Great morning to you. So yeah, definitely join our text community. Text LW into 84576. So when we come into your area, you'll be able to come hang out with us. All right. So make sure you're a part of that as well. All right. Let's see. Spliggity spot. Also, if you've noticed, rocking the T, make sure you're ordering. Make sure you're ordering BOL apparel. Go to brothersoflegacy.com, where you not only see how to order this fabulous tee, you'll also know how to sign up and become a partner and member. Fill out that information so you can be a part of what we're doing in the community as well as online. All right, so do that. You can do it now, do it later during our intro, whenever. That's why I'm doing a little bit of talk, give you an opportunity to leave. Come on back. Just come on back in. All right. Oh, let's see. That is all. What did they say? The housekeeping. So again, welcome to Brothers of Legacy. So today we're talking about changing the mindset of our community part for Quattro. So what keeps us from building together? So today I'm going to talk about some of the apprehensions and some of the ways to overcome those apprehensions. And before we get started, let me get my brother like no other in the building. I like to just kind of lay the foundation, as he says, the substratum. So let's get him in this conversation. Well, actually, we're going to get him in, do my intro, then we're going to kick off the conversation. All right. Welcome, Pastor. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, man. How you doing? Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. All right. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off so that we can have this amazing conversation. And make sure you share. Tag somebody. I know you've had these conversations. Tag somebody that you want to prove them wrong about something or prove them right. Let's go.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Again, another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. We stand out, we stand up, and we're kind of keeping the changing the mindset of our community part. Quattro. So today I kind of talk about get into the weeds of, but what keeps us from building together? Like early in the week, I think kind of talked about church a little bit, and Pastor, he spoke about there are collaborations happening. We just don't see them, but they're not shown, or no one knows enough about them, which I get, because the worst news is easier to find than good news. It's always clear. You watch the news, you'll think everything is bad. You're like, oh my gosh, and then you find out the chances are these things happen at 0.001, but because they're always in our face, we feel like it's got to be 50%. It's got to be 60%. Like they talk about with like plane crashes and car crashes, the accident rates, things of that nature, and you're like, I see it all the time. I see it all the time. It's got to be an issue. But the chances of it happening, become slim. So. So I want to just talk about some of the barriers, because you hear about them. People, someone put up a post. It said that looks like a great cup of coffee.
It's tea.
It's tea. Oh shoot!
Yeah, I haven't had a cup of coffee in probably 2 months.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Look at you. All right. Joe says, "Good morning, Pastor." So we're going to talk about some of those barriers. Sam already jumped in and said ego. Ego. I've heard, what in the...
Lemon.
Oh, the tea bag. Oh, okay.
That's lemon.
Oh, that's lemon. Okay. It's hard to see on the camera. Okay.
Look, that lets you know my wife made it and not me.
You don't put the limit. He said, "Wow, blasphemous." So yeah, so I think it was Les Brown that I heard say it. But like I always talk about quotes, just because you hear some big name say it, don't mean they're the originator of it. But I'll just say he said, "Ego means edging God out, edging God out." So I always thought that was a great acronym. So ego is truly, I think, can be like one of the biggest when it comes to keeping us from building together. Do you think, Pastor, like, is it a, they want to lead, or they want a prominence by saying, "No coffee, Pastor, drinking tea, we're drinking tea,
Mom, it's tea." I haven't had coffee in a while. So go ahead. What's your question, bro?
Do you think it's every, and I know we talk about sometimes even with churches coming together, everybody, not everybody, but for the most part, someone wants to lead, and there's always a fight for that head spot. But do you feel like, is it the fact that people can't follow, or they want to have their own thing that keeps us from building together? Or do you feel like they want to have a prominent position? Like, what do you feel like when it comes to ego? Is it I want to control it, I want more controlling share, or the trust factor, do you think that drives it?
I think it's all of the above, right? When you have issues, right? I think that it's always important to find out or understand the motive behind the coming together anyway. What is the expected outcome of us coming together, right? Because anytime two sides come together, what you're looking to achieve or accomplish is covenant, some type of agreement coming together. And sometimes you come together under false pretenses. If I have unhealthy motives for coming together, what's driving the unhealthy motive? And sometimes you don't realize it. Sometimes you have the greatest intention, but you're afraid of giving up something. Right? There's where ego begins to play a role, because someone who wants power is afraid of relinquishing power.
Right.
What happens if I'm not in charge? What are the insecurities? Are you afraid it's not going to work out? Are you afraid that you're going to be tossed to the side? Are you afraid you're going to be forgotten about? Are you afraid you're not going to get any accolades? Those are some of the, or financial, you're afraid you're not going to get a big enough piece of the pie. Someone's going to make more money than you. There's so many things that come into play when it comes to that, as far as ego is concerned. Some people just have possessive spirits, where you naturally need to be in control of everything, or in control of people, or whatever the case might be. So those are a lot of the things that feed into it. I think you have to understand, you don't have to have the championship belt to be considered on top.
Right. Good morning.
Hey, yeah. Good morning. Because I think the greatest success stories, like I'm under the mindset that if you win, we win. Right. Some of us feel like we only win if I win.
Right. Wow. You're right. I think that's real, because that the money issue, the bigger piece. It's funny. I remember years ago there was a group called EPMD, and they had this great falling out because Eric Sermon and Parrish Smith, they made up EPMD, and Eric Sermon accused Parrish Smith of getting too much money, or making more money, than he was. But what Eric Sermon didn't understand was how to make those little bit of change from just being in the studio, signing the name as executive producer. Like, he figured out to just be a part of stuff. If I'm there and I add and contribute, I make more. And he pissed him off, but he didn't understand. He didn't understand the game. He didn't understand how it worked. He's like, I'm not stealing. I'm doing it properly. You just rapping. You just write the lyrics, rapping, and then you out. I'm here with the beats. I'm here when they discuss it. People don't realize. I think knowing the whole of what you're getting what you're being a part of. because like you said, there are even in business, in ministry, like, how did y'all get bigger? Well, we was part of the planning process. Like when they were divvying out parts, I was there. I was making sure I didn't just get co-producer, I got producer. So I think having that understanding, a lot of it's because sometimes you hear about it like, yeah, pastor did such and such and such. He didn't, and then you dig into the weeds like, well, you didn't understand the game you were playing. You didn't understand the rules. It was clear this is how it's going. If you showed up more, and I think that's some of what we miss out on, because like I'm even now at the point when we see somebody say such and such a charlatan, such as this, or like they talk about Jake's in his like a business practice or something. I'm like, I dig into it. I'm like, sometimes you guys don't understand the game. He understood the game. Like he learned how to navigate. He learned how to play it correctly, so he can get a bigger chunk of doing the same work. And I think that to me, that's one, and that's a driving factor with the ego, as well. And we watch countless groups, like big, I won't say Five Heartbeats because it's not a real group, but countless groups that split, because they don't understand the game they got into. Because some people say I make music, but I'm in the music business, and understanding how it really works. I think that's detrimental to our community as well, because people don't understand all of what they're getting into, and or the benefits, or what they can be asking more for, because that happens in groups all the time. Like, hey, how you getting 2 checks for my song? It's like, well, I was there with the producer, and then I was with the lyricist. Remember that doo-wop? I added that, and now I get a piece of the pie. So I think that ego, that ego definitely, you're right, has a factor in, because people don't want to know, or they didn't read the contract, or they didn't understand. Like we talked about this in the beginning, there were these spots, and you were just trying to sing and go to the party, go to the after party, So I think that's really, to me, like a big driving factor of people not understanding exactly what it takes to really build, what the contribution is, how to
one of the greatest lessons I learned. I'll say a great lesson that I learned when it comes to being comfortable in, like, you have to be comfortable in who you are and your ability to be successful, right? Without comparing yourself to other people. Unless you're it's a comparison to motivate you to grow, right? Not to beat somebody, but just to be better, right? So that's the question. Like, am I comparing myself because I want to be better than you, or am I comparing myself because you're a great measurement, and you give me something to strive for?
Right.
Not striving to be better than you, but striving to be better than I was yesterday.
Hey, come on.
Right. And it takes a certain self-confidence to be able to do that comfortably and effectively. I'll never forget when my mom moved to Georgia, and she stayed with us before she got her own place, and my mom has a green thumb. She loves growing things, and so she had these plants in my house, and they were growing like crazy, and when she got her place, she didn't want the plant. She said, just let me have a piece of it. Right. She just took a piece of a small piece of the plant, put it in a little pot, and took it to her home. And a year later, that little piece of plant, because she was comfortable and confident in her ability to grow things, it was as big as the plant that was in my house. Wow. You understand?
Right. That's good.
And sometimes we think we got to take the whole plant from you, instead of just taking a piece of what you're doing and going and growing it ourselves. Right.
I mean, absolutely.
Oftentimes I want what you have when all I need is a piece.
Wow.
And then I can go grow that.
That's good. Yeah.
You know, when Abraham and Lot were going their separate ways, Abraham wasn't concerned about what side was available for him. He told
Right.
Lot, you know, you choose whatever side you want, and I'll take what's left.
Right.
Right. I'm like, look out here, look out across the land. You decide wherever you
Right.
go, I'll go the opposite direction. You decide whatever you want, you take it, and I'll just take what's left.
Right.
Because he was comfortable and confident in what the Lord was able to do through him.
Right.
He didn't have to worry about how much Lot took or whether he took the best part.
Right.
Abraham was satisfied with having a part.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that's good. That's good. That's good. I like that analogy. I'm totally stealing that story. switch up the characters a little bit, but yeah, I like that. There's a lot of truth to that. There's total truth. It's the getting apart and growing it for yourself. You know.
Yeah.
Getting.
I mean, it's great to be a part of something that's great.
Right. Right.
You know, be a part of something that's growing.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the president. Now, if that's your position, then that's your position. But even in that position,
right.
You know, if people under you aren't growing, right. If I can't see a replacement for myself,
right,
then I'm not doing it right.
That's good.
You know, we should all be striving. You know, if you're successful, you know, who's next in line when you're done, when you're gone. You know, so often, and go back to organizations, to churches. You know, why do preachers have to preach until they 100?
Right. That's
right. Die with the microphone in your hand.
Right.
And then when you die, the church is in an uproar because there was no designated successor.
Right.
You know, companies, family-owned businesses. You know, the everything goes into disarray when the patriarch or the matriarch passes away.
Right.
Because there was no designated successor.
Right.
Or the designated successor, the one who's supposed to be next in succession, is not living right or not up to the task.
Right.
Because they weren't paying attention.
Right. They weren't positioning themselves.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's where we're all, and then, you know, you want the power, but not the accountability.
Right.
You know, and that creates problems. You know, remember Shaq and Kobe and how they fell apart? They were like, man, if we had stayed together, we'd have probably won 6 or 7 championships.
Right.
But years later, Shaq, who was the big brother, had to come back years later and apologize to Kobe. Why? He said, because I let my ego.
Yes.
I didn't like the fact that Kobe was trying to push me to be great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if, you know, just being a part of greatness, like no one would argue or debate who was the better person. They'll just talk about the dynasty.
Yes.
You know, when people talk about Shaq and Kobe, they talk about Shaq and Kobe.
Right.
And then they talk about what they could have done.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah. And so a lot of that is, you know, and a lot of people were mad at Kobe because they felt like he ran Shaq out of town.
Right.
You know, and you think about, and that's the thing, like everybody loses. And then you have to do twice as much work to regain the momentum that you had. But Kobe was okay because Kobe was comfortable in his own skin. He knew what he was capable of accomplishing.
Right.
You know? Shaq was out of shape. So he felt intimidated.
Right. Wow.
He didn't want to put in the work because he, you know, it was for him, it was enough to just be there. Yeah. And I'm saying these aren't my words. Is, you know, if you listen to what he says, this is how what he realized.
Yeah.
He got in his own way.
Right.
Of something great, you know, and that's what happens. It doesn't make you less of I mean, the reality is Shaq
moment. Like what's the history books going to say about these moments? What's the history books going to say, you know, if we can just set aside this pettiness? Because it's funny talking to Dr. JL last week before we started, he was saying, man, what's going to be said about 2020 to like 2022 with this pandemic? You know, like, are we going to be like the Spanish flu? You know, like how people 100 years from now, how are they going to look at this moment in history? You know, like what are they going to say? And we're digging so much into the weeds of this infighting. Like, I wonder if even this political infighting is going to be part of the history, because I'm sure during the Spanish flu they had the same issue. Like, I'm not wearing a mask. Like, I got rights.
I have a great question for you.
What's up?
Does anybody remember what our vice president's name is?
That's a good one.
Right? Is anyone talking about our vice president?
Not at all. Not. I haven't seen her name on since she got elected. Since she came into office, that was the big achievement.
Aside from getting into the chair, into the seat,
right?
What has been accomplished?
Right.
I'm not trying to
cast
dispersion on the individual. That's not my
Right.
point.
Right.
When you ask the question, what are we going to be talking about?
Right.
How much are we working together?
Right.
It's being valid. I mean, we are in such disarray now,
Indeed.
and I think that one of the greatest travesties that has happened in America, second to slavery, well, not second, but
besides,
aside from slavery,
right,
is the opportunity we had when we had one of the most intelligent politicians to ever get into Washington, D.C.
Right.
And I don't care what anybody love them or hate them, agree or disagree.
Right.
Barack Obama was one of the most intelligent people that we've had in D.C. in a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
Indeed.
And so we missed the opportunity to work together because of ego.
Yes.
And we know that because of what happened after he left office. Right. When he left office, we went straight to the gutter.
Right.
It couldn't have got. I mean, we are in the worst political season that we've had in a very long time.
Right.
Because of the inability for two sides to come together, all because they didn't like who was in charge.
Right. That's good. That's true. Yeah. So that really goes into, building together. And having a what's the singular agenda? What's the singular focus that we're trying to get to? What are we trying to achieve? If we can all see it and agree to it and fight for that thing, I think it'll help us build something better together. And even you get into the we agree to disagree on certain points, but we're working together to build something singular. And if we because I think there's a mindset of this. It's always got to be kumbaya. Like, we always got to be good. I think that's kind of like a false narrative. It's like, we got to understand we're going to disagree on a lot of stuff, but we're all here to build this thing, make this particular monetary goal, or this is what we're trying to achieve. Let's get it. Like, it's funny. I guess we kind of figured out at work because we don't like all our coworkers, but some of our closest coworkers. I said Vice President will be on The View today. Right. Nice. But some of our closest coworkers you may not agree with, but you got a goal. Like, hey, we need to work together. We got to get this project done. This is what we got to get done. And if we can get past, like you said, our ego, we starting out with that, with the ego and how, I gotta be right. I gotta be on top. I gotta be 100% correct in my positioning. Then you'll never accomplish anything. Sometimes you just gotta let that positioning go for the sake of the agenda. And I always talk about we gotta kind of get out of that selfish mindset. Listen, what are we building? And then even you're building something together, not only for you now, you're building something for your generations to come. Let's think forward and think about. I always think about the groups and the people that have left because of their ego. If you're stuck with them, if you stayed in it, I think about, what was it? Was it the Temptation movie when my man that was in there, like one scene, and just before they blew up, he bounced out of the group. Like, I know every time we watch that movie, or his family, like, Dad should have stayed there. He should have kept his butt there, even just in the background. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, should have used lockdowns to learn new skills, help your fellow community members, friends, and those less fortunate. Yeah, definitely. But we have to learn to lay aside some parts of our agenda if you see the goal is worth fighting for. Like we come together, we realize this is what we're going, because you join things, and I know everybody has an agenda. We all, when you have things that you want to accomplish, and sometimes like just get on the bus with us. Let us go the distance together. Lay aside some of them baggages, put it to the side, and then when you get off, you'll be further along because we have rolled this thing together. Then pick your agenda back up. If we can get to that space, I think we can do some amazing things. Because I think about that as well. Like even with Brothers of Legacy, I'm like, if someone came to you and was like, "Hey, I got this, and we can build this and grow this," I was like, "Can I lay aside some of the little pieces that I want to do for the greater good, for us to build something bigger?" And then, when we get there, like, okay, clap hands, boom, I'm gonna start this thing that I was gonna start, but now I got more people I can serve with it because now we've all grown. So I don't know. It's crazy that that ego and sometimes just being able to lay aside your agenda can get in the way. So what's the proverb? If you want to go fast, do it alone. If you want to go far, do it together. Yes. I'm a co-sign on that. That's probably not exactly, but that's right enough. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think about, like we are BOL,
Yeah.
right? You started something, and
Yeah.
and I think about, what it took for you all to encourage me to get on here. Right. It took you all months. You and a couple of other brothers took you months to convince me to get on here.
Yes.
And as soon as I got on here,
Seasons changed.
someone departed.
Yeah.
Right. I couldn't, like I love my brothers. I appreciate them, but we had people leave and people come in, and then, people want to go do their own thing. And what happens is, people have varying reasons for what they do and why they do what they do. But the truth is, we're supposed to come together and stick together for a season. Right. And even though we may want to do other things, we're still supposed to be a part of this.
Right. Yes.
Right. But ego.
Right.
It's one thing to say, and I'm just keeping it real because we can't be on here and be phony.
No, not at all.
It's one thing to say, there's something else that I want to do.
Yeah.
Right. But because I want to go do something else, that should be in addition to what you're doing here. Right. Because you go do something else doesn't mean you have to cut yourself off. Because we're not in competition. Right. And we, our group is larger, but the level of commitment from the founders of the group is like the Black Street breakup.
Right.
Somebody else want to be the lead singer, more content to share. Somebody, and the thing is, if you have multiple people, everybody plays a part. Right. When you put a band together, everybody doesn't play the drums. Everybody may have the ability to play them. But if you're on stage and everybody's got drumsticks in your hand, you just have a bunch of noise.
Yes, indeed.
If you're on stage and everybody has a guitar, you just have a bunch of noise.
Right.
Everybody has to play their individual part.
Indeed.
Right.
Indeed.
And what happens is, I'm the lead guitarist. So now I want to be the lead guitarist. I want to be the lead singer. I want to be out front. Well, no, you're a part of something. Let's all be there.
Yeah.
And I think that, and that's what happens, so you get the question, but whatever happened to such and such? Don't know. Well, where did what you call it go? I don't know. Because there was never a conversation about a departure. You just stop showing up.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And how often does that happen with us in our community?
Yeah. Like I really push the mantra, just the not disappearing, because I say that because I know me. Like I've I've done it. Like, I've been a part of something. I just kind of slide away, and there's always so much, that people contribute, like whatever it is, like it's always about, come together, build something up, and then do your thing. Like it's never about stopping someone from doing their thing. It's why don't we come together for a common goal to build something, and then what you have will get more eyes on it because we're coming together. So I think, yeah,
it's what happens in our community.
Away. Yeah, it does, and if that's the one thing we definitely need to get rid of. I saw Mama McCory put, right here, ego is deadly in our community. Yeah, deadly. Like you always hear about when things go wrong. It's always about an ego trip. When it goes wrong, they wanted more. And a lot of times they don't discuss what they want. They just ego trip and like it's always about having a conversation. Like I don't know. It's we definitely need to communicate more. We need to communicate, and as the listener, the person that's receiving, we just need to hear them out. And I don't think we should technically take everything so personal. Some things are just, things are shifting. I see more like, okay, how can we work with your more, and make that happen? Definitely you got to communicate more. He said, urge reconciliation, my brothers. I mean, trust that I've thrown out the olive branch, the tree with the root.
Yeah, my thing is you are one of the easiest brothers to get along with.
I try to be.
A great example in the book of Judges, Deborah and Barak going to battle, and he went knowing that when the battle was won, he was not going to get. Yeah, exactly. Right. And went anyway because he was after. Yeah, it's all right. Absolutely, Lisa.
That's the agenda.
It's funny. There's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
I'm amazed at how much I can find myself in scripture.
Right.
Right. I love that from Lisa.
Yeah.
Because for that, it's, let's come together for the purpose of, what's funny is Jesus was crucified because the leaders, the one opportunity they had to come together, because they never got along before Jesus came.
Right.
But they all got along just to crucify Jesus.
Right.
They came together. Right.
That's deep. Yeah.
How you think about it. I mean, that's just real. And so it's amazing, but what they didn't realize is that was all part of the plan, which is great for us. But I'm saying the amazing part that I'll give you another example. I'm going to give you another sports example, and I'm going to use Kobe Bryant again. People say, he talk all this mess, he never shuts up, and he tells people you're not ready. Young guys coming in, and he's hard on them. He's this, he's that, and when Kobe was at the height of his career, his young career, people wanted to play. They wanted the success of the Lakers. Right. Not that they necessarily like Kobe Bryant, but they wanted the high life of being in Los Angeles. And there's a story about a young player coming into the league. He gets to the Lakers. He gets drafted by the Lakers or gets traded to the Lakers, and they're on a road trip. And a lot of the guys from the team, they land, they get to their hotel, and they want to go out and hang out. Right. And one of the older veterans pulls a young player aside, a young player who has, I'm intentionally not giving names, who has great upside, great potential to be a great player.
Yeah.
And he's heading out to go to the club with the rest of the team. And he says, hey, I want to show you something. Right. And he walks him outside the hotel, walks him down the street to a gym up the street from their hotel.
Right.
And it's got a big picture window in front of it. Yeah. And he says, I want you to look in there.
Right.
And look in the back. And he looks in there. He goes, what am I looking for? He goes, just look. He looks back in the back of the gym and he sees somebody working out. He's like, is that Kobe?
Right.
He goes, yeah. He said, if you want what he has,
right,
you got to do what he does. You want to know why he talks so much? Because when we out here partying and having a good time,
right,
he's in here putting in work.
Right.
That's why he has the ball in his hand.
Right.
That's why he gets the interviews. That's why he has the endorsements. Because when it's time to get out on the court, he's got equity that
Yes.
you know not of.
Oh, that's good right there.
Right.
Right. Definitely. Mike said, he says, oh no, let me get the first one. He said, I felt led to start speaking online. So many people begin to ask me, are you leaving your church? You should start your own church. I'm like, God hasn't called me to be a pastor. Can a brother just be an evangelist? He said, he said, so when people gas you up, remember what God has called you to do, not what people want you to be for them. They lift you up, but will leave you hanging. Woo!
That's powerful. That's powerful,
that's
Gibson, because
yeah.
so many people will gas you up
Yes.
for what they can get from you. And what those people in a lot of cases are like leeches.
Right.
They want to bleed you.
Yes.
Use you for their gain. Pull you away from where they know you're most effective.
Yep.
Put you out on an island by yourself.
Right.
And then bleed you dry. I call that mirror breaking. That's when I'm always talking about the mirror breaking.
Right.
You know, when you're in a situation where you're surrounded by people who will tell you when you're right and challenge you when you're wrong.
Right.
They give you a reflection of yourself. They tell you what you're looking like. Those are the mirrors in your life.
Yep.
And certain people are designed, their personalities are designed to pull you away from those mirrors.
Yep.
The people that will hold you accountable, right? And get you alone, get you isolated, and then bleed you.
Yep. Yes,
right?
indeed. Yes, indeed. So I want to take a quick pause and say something. So I appreciate you guys being here and rocking with us. I feel like we're like the most well-known, low-viewed show. Yeah, everybody. I know so many people that I'm connected to. They know who Brothers of Legacy is. They know about Brothers of Legacy. I think there's probably not one person, especially connected to me, I'm sure, Pastor, that doesn't know who Brothers of Legacy is, especially between our mutual. So what I need y'all to do to share, if you're in Facebook, tag somebody that can be a part of this conversation. Share it onto your page. Just share it. Then, if you don't want to tag anybody, like I don't want to put nobody, just put it on your page. Just share it to your page. Let everybody know what the Brothers of Legacy doing. We're always positive. We never cuss. We're not that kind that you can't share because your church might see it. We know those. Like, oh, that's funny. I can't share that. So we're not even PG. We're G. We're G-rated show. We keep it clean and we have great conversation. So what I need y'all to do, help a brother out. Facebook is not going to pump me up. Like I've been doing little ads and, you'll probably start seeing our face sponsored ads, but I need your assistance. You right now watching. All I need you to do, if you're brave enough, go in the inbox and listen, you need to check these brothers out. Just watch one show or tag somebody. And at the minimum, smallest, just put it on your timeline. Let someone else have an opportunity to put a little caption like, man, I learned a lot today. Oh man, these brothers are funny. They're entertaining. They say some great stuff. So if you're in YouTube, make sure you are giving me the thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't like what I'm saying. That's cool too. Put some comments in and you can share it as well. Of course, copy, paste it onto your Facebook timeline. Let everybody know what you're watching and who you're listening to every single morning between 9, 10-ish, because sometimes we go over. And see, boom, that's one of my number one supporters, Mama McCory. She said, you do have great conversation. Awesome. Appreciate you, Richard. Always sharing. Do what Richard does. I probably won't say that a whole lot, but do what Richard does and share this broadcast. Share it out. And Lisa, I appreciate she always the first one in sharing. And I thank you. Thank you guys for being here. And I'm not closing out. I just wanted to take that moment because it seems like, if you're ever on the side of watching numbers, it's like it goes up, then it goes down. It goes up. So now we're going up and I'm taking a moment to share. Thank you. Share it. All right. Because like I said, a lot of people know who we are. I've been in lives and I was like, oh, that's the Brothers of Legacy. Yeah, I know they. I was like, I ain't never seen your name come up in my comments. All right. He said they're sleeping in California. That's fine. Put it in. They'll wake up later. They'll check it out. around 11 o'clock our time. That works too. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. So, and these are the things that kind of keep us from building together as well. Just sharing, sharing what's going on with somebody else. I know you have an agenda. I know you're trying to build something, but if you see someone else doing something positive, doing some kind of work in the community, you should share that as well. You know, I know like you have, like I said, your agenda, you know, sometimes you just like, I like where they're going. So if we go in the same direction, let everybody know like, hey, I'm going there. They're going there as well. See how that works? Sharing, sharing, caring. Barney talked about that a whole lot. Sharing is caring. So make sure you do that. But yeah, I think one of the primary things is just expressing what's going on when you're a part of a group. You know, if you're having challenges or you want to see more, you want something to happen, saying it. Like give your group an opportunity to hear you out and maybe help you in the agenda that may not be part of our agenda, but how we can push what you're doing forward. And I think we lack conversation. Now, like I said, I've been a perpetrator of not liking where something's going and leaving and not saying anything. So like I can't say I've never done it. I would be straight up lying to you guys online. But so my push is to make it, and I try to make things as easy as possible. Like, yo, tell me what's going on, and so we can build something. And that's what Brothers of Legacy is all about. This isn't the A.D. Walker show. Right. You don't see my face plastered like all over the place. Just the brothers, and I want us to grow together. And that's the reason we started this, because, we wanted to build something where guys can come in and build together, and that's the goal. That's the goal.
Cheryl said, I share it too.
All right. I appreciate you, Cheryl.
You're leaving me out.
I know, right? If I left you, I apologize. Yes, I thank you for sharing. I need to go through my list. I think on Facebook, you can tell me who shared. Yeah, right. Richard, never, ever, never payola. If I do, you will hear me say this segment is sponsored by Pastor Bryant McCory and Solomon's Temple Christian Ministries. And then I'll talk about how great he is. If you want that great preaching, go to Solomon's Temple.
Look, BOL, you Michael Jackson.
He said Michael Jackson. Oh man. So definitely we have to get past that. I think that ego is kind of the issue, because even with sometimes even trust, the focus, I guess sometimes putting in financial equity into something, it's a trust. And could it be an ego thing, or I think more and is it worth investing in, or is it worth putting your money into? Where's the money going to? I think that's an issue as well. I said I share because I see excellence. I share because I see positivity. I share because it costs me nothing. Right. The last one, that third one. I appreciate the excellence and positivity. I share because
you should pastor a church.
Right. Right.
That's good, right, man. That's really good.
Yeah.
And again, I think it goes back to what Lisa was saying. She gave that great example. I love that.
Oh, yeah. In
the book of Judges.
Yeah.
With Deborah and Barak, because this is what Gibson is talking about here, right? It costs me nothing.
Right.
Bridges take time to build. I see excellence. You're talking about the outcome of a thing. You're not talking about individuals. You never said because AD is this or because pastor is that.
Right.
I see a standard in the presentation, which leads me to that old adage, are you not entertained? Deborah and Barak, most people don't understand. She had to go get him and convince him to go to battle. Right. He hadn't seen enough activity from the Lord. So he was not gunning for this. It was the prophetess who was gunning for it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But people will look at that and be like, well, because Deborah went and got him, or because she couldn't go if he didn't go, and all. No, the reality is credit is not given to her or to him for the victory.
Right.
The credit is given to God.
Right.
Right. And so it's not about what you bring, but you got to bring something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about what I bring, but I got to bring something. The goal is to accomplish the task.
Right.
And then we all celebrate together.
Right.
Right. And give God the glory.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Right.
indeed.
And if you have that type of mindset, we would work a whole lot more effectively as a community.
Right.
Do you know that there's Teddy Riley tells the story about, Black Street. He tells the story about Guy and all that. Do you know that there are royalties that Black Street still isn't getting today?
Wow.
From their music?
Wow.
Because it requires 2 signatures.
Are you serious?
Right.
Check that out. Wow.
And all these years later, Teddy Riley still says today, well, because they have not, somebody wanted to get paid more. Somebody got mad. Teddy was like, give them the money.
Wow.
They got mad.
Wow.
So even now today, there are royalties that neither side is getting because there aren't 2 signatures on the agreement. Today, now how old is Blackstreet? How far back? Their music has been playing since then, but they're not getting royalties because there aren't 2 signatures.
Wow, that's at least the late 90s. I don't even. Did they have anything into the 2000s? Like, wow. That's at best 15, at longest like 25. Like,
yeah, wow. And the benefit for Teddy Riley is like, I don't need the money.
Right.
I can wait.
What
about all these other guys?
Right. Wow. That's big. That's big. Rich said, is ego negative or ego positive? I was looking up the definition of ego. It says a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. I think too strong of an ego can be detrimental. Having high self-esteem is fine because you want to think good of yourself, but not so highly where I gotta lead. Like I gotta be the head. The only way I'm gonna be a part of this team if I'm leading, or at best second in command, something like that. I think that's where the ego can be unhealthy. That's where the problems can happen. When someone wants to have to be in charge, they can't be a follower. They always got to lead. I think that that's probably the best way to put it. Is it negative? It's hard to really quantify that based on the definition. But when you're thinking highly of yourself, always like in every room, like I am the man. I'm the leader. You know what? I take that back. It's okay because sometimes you go to a network, like I'm gonna rock this thing because I got value. But yeah, being able to lead, or to follow is a great attribute as well. You said mental health disorders and autism is my strength, my intelligence and talents, but mental health fluctuates from good to bad to good. It ebbs and flows. It bothers brothers. It's like being in the battle of the
Psalm.
All right. So let's see. True
talk, sir.
The greatest problem is that we don't understand leadership. The front man is not necessarily the leader.
You better say it. Look, I have one word. I have one word. Stranger.
Right. Right.
I've
never seen
Boomerang. Or 2 words. Lady Eloise.
Right.
You might be the face, but you're not the power.
Right.
You might be the face, but you're not the influence.
Right. It's leadership.
Yes, there it is.
People follow leaders. Front people just get credit.
There it is.
I have another word, or maybe my 2 words are Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Right. let's dig into that one.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys rocking and being with us. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being a part. When you're on the go as well, if you listen to any podcast, make sure you check out the Brothers Legacy podcast. If you missed any episode or you just want to hear us again, make sure you check out the podcast. Support that as well. Share that too. So if you can't share the broadcast, you're like, man, these folks only listen to podcasts. Share the podcast. There you go. Bam. I got it all covered. So again, we welcome you. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your contribution. These comments help with the flow of the conversation, because it's not just us talking back and forth and as some authorities or something. We're actually having conversation to help our community move forward. He said, ask the corner boys, they're not the leaders of the game. The kingpin is asleep at 3 a.m. in his crib. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I appreciate that, Mama Corey. Thank you for always sharing and being a part. So like I said, thank you for sharing. If you haven't joined our text community, we got some things happening, some local initiatives coming down the pipe. Join our community, text LWN to 84576. Join our community, text LWN to 84576, and always be notified of what we are doing in the Legacy Walking Network, and never miss a broadcast and never miss what's happening with us. All right. Boom. Said all that to say this. I appreciate you being here, and you can still share, tag. You can tag after, tag them, because you may not want them in the live conversation because they may be kind of rough with the language. It's all good. So tag them later, and let them comment. I'll definitely reply to the comments and share the YouTube as well. All right, with that, I appreciate you. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. It's Friday. You know, it's Freestyle Friday, where we play games and talk about stuff that's happened all at the same time. All right, so we look forward to seeing you. I think that's it. Pastor, you good?
I'm good. Be blessed. Enjoy your Thursday. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Yes, indeed. All right, all hearts and minds clear. See you in the AM. As always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. Thank you guys for rocking, hanging, being with us. Sharing is caring. All of my replay peoples that watch in the background that I know see this show, I appreciate you as well.